Rabbi Hauer, first, congratulations to you and to the OU for the award. Tell us a bit about your activities in the kashrut realm, but also in other areas.
The OU has had the privilege for the past 100 years, as has been said, to serve as really the leading kashrut organization in the world. And that mission is a mission of enabling the Jewish people to practice our law, to practice Torah, to practice mitzvot, to practice halacha. And it also comes with the responsibility, because in that role, the Orthodox Union serves as really the point of connection for people, whether it's Jews, whether it's corporations. It's their point of contact with Torah, with halacha, with the rabbinate, and we have a singular goal, and that is that every such encounter should generate Kiddush Hashem. We represent Torah, we represent halacha, it has to generate Kiddush Hashem. So that, and thank God, we're pretty successful with that. The OU, with its consistency of application, with the rules, with its transparency, has been successful in doing that. The second piece, which you saw on that very moving film a couple of minutes ago, is that whatever, kashrut does generate income, and whatever income comes in, every dollar, we dedicate back to the enhancement of the Jewish community. We do it here in America, and we do it in Israel. Zula, which was pictured there, which was shown there, is a pride and joy. I want to recognize Rabbi Avi Berman, our director of OU Israel, who puts his heart and soul into that. And this combination, Rabbi Menachem Genack, who's the CEO of OU Kosher, who wasn't able to be here today, this combination of being able to service the Jewish people and then to take the products of that and invest it back into the community is something which is a tremendous privilege for us.
Again, congratulations for the award. As a thought leader, we are interested in your takes on several different areas as well. You know, there's a lot of tension in Israel right now within the secular and the religious sectors of the population. Of course, I'm speaking here in broad generalization, of course, concerning participation in the labor force, military service, education issues, and so on. And these are not new tensions whatsoever. These are issues that have been brewing below the surface since the establishment of the Jewish state, maybe. But right now, it seems like we have the perfect storm, where all these tensions are suddenly emerging and threatening to destroy the very shreds of solidarity that we've had as a status quo for many, many decades. What's your read on these developments, and what would you say to Jewish Americans who wish to show support for the state of Israel in these times of great inner division?
The tensions are, of course, a concern. We don't believe, Bezos Hashem, with Hashem's help, that the country, heaven forbid, will implode. We, as everybody, understand that these are issues. These have been issues for a long time, issues which create tension, and issues on which progress has been made. And the greatest way to create a setback in that progress has been proven is when one side tries to force the other into a certain position. Time and a maturity of a community on both sides helps people to understand. The misrepresentation that it appears, you know better than I, but from our seat, the misrepresentation of the situation is that the vast majority, the vast middle, and it's not even the middle, it's just almost seems like everything but the edges, doesn't want to force their way of life onto the other. They understand that they have to live and let live. The right wing of the government doesn't want to create religious coercion, and the left wing, generally speaking, does not want to force a different way of life on everybody else. There are those that perhaps speak differently, and that's incredibly harmful to the fabric. Through understanding, through the soft power of just working together and understanding that we have to come to an understanding, that understanding and those developments will grow as they have grown in the economic realms, even in the military realms, in the realm of Pikud HaOref, so to speak, the great Haredi Pikud HaOref contributions of defense and security and Hatzalah and all these kinds of things.
And how do you see the role of American Jews in that context? context, looking inwards towards Israel?
American Jews need the connection to Israel desperately. And we need to stand with absolute wall-to-wall solidarity like we do. I want to tell you, I was very moved today. I marched down Fifth Avenue like so many others. Actually, I marched up Fifth Avenue like so many others. I was marching for part of the time with the governor of New York, and there were other leaders of Jewish organizations, and marching near me was a person who I know from Jewish communal life, who really one would have thought would have had their place with the protesters. But he was marching, and he was marching for Israel. And we saw thousands and thousands of people from all across the spectrum marching for Israel, and we saw a few dozen people who were being very, very vocal on the sidelines. And we have to understand that American Jewry understands that its future really, really depends on Jewish identity with the State of Israel, and is supportive, and should continue to be supportive, ahava she'ena tluya b'davar, with unconditional love and support for the State of Israel.
I want to ask you, though, about the fringe minority that you just mentioned. You know, both the left and right in Israel, sometimes they have this tendency to wash their dirty laundry outside in English, in public, in a vocal manner, trying to validate their own premises, in words by getting some outside international support. What do you think about this method?
I think that in the current round, it has had serious consequences which we are hopeful that we will recover from, but it has had very, very serious consequences. We can speak about things, and we don't like sweeping things under the rug, and the notion of not washing our dirty laundry in public or dirty linen in public, is sometimes recalling things which we shouldn't be trying to stay away from. On the other hand, the exaggerated political conversation, which is understandable how it has to take place on the other side of the ocean, is incredibly devastating here. When leaders of the opposition will come and speak about how Israel is ceasing to be a democracy, and we have, again, the broad Jewish masses of America who need to identify with the State of Israel so badly, and words like that and expressions like that it's ceasing to be a democracy, could devastate their future connection. It's not appropriate. If it was proportional, if it was accurate, well, I tell you frankly, I think many of us would join them in calling it out. But it's the rhetoric of politics. And we have to understand how much American Jews need Israel, and we can't afford to speak like that on this side of the ocean. We just can't.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Hauer, for these important words, and congratulations again for Pras Yerushalayim.
Toda.